Hello, my dear people. Welcome to TechTrends.Programming channel. This channel to learn, collaborate, and discuss about programming topics. Today, we brought another interesting topic to share, that is index in SQL. So, what is the index in SQL? Why it is very important? Okay. So, indexes are special lookup tables in the database search engines. It can speed up the data retrieval process. Also, it will point it to the data in the table. Okay. And if you use this index, it will speed up your SQL retrieval query. And whenever you use with the where clause, this will speed up your SQL results queries. Okay, but it will slow down your update and insert statements. Indexes can be created or dropped with no effect on the data. So, is the primary key is which kind of index? Okay, so generally the primary key itself, it's automatically considered as a cluster index. Okay, the SQL indexes are primarily a performance tool. They really apply if the database gets large. Okay, so there are the several type of indexes. The one common index is the cluster index. Okay, so how to create the table with the index? You see, I'm creating the table employee photo. There is the employee ID, which is int not null, and that is the primary key. Okay, the primary key, this field automatically considered as a clustered index, which means that it will not allow any null value and it will allow the unique numbers only. That is the primary key. So how to create the index on the particular table? There is a syntax create index name on table name. This index name and the table name is a dynamic. You can customize your own index name and table name. Okay, so this is how you can create the index on the particular table. So how to alter the created table? Okay, so if you already having the table existing with the index on it, then you can alter that particular table index. How? The alter index name on table name rebuild. So using that, you can alter that particular index. Single column index. There are type of index is there. One type is single column index. So single column index is nothing but we can create the index on the particular column on the particular table. Okay, so is the created based on only one table column. So create index name on table name, you need to specify the column name here. So this is called single column index. Unique index. So unique indexes are used not only for the performance but also for the data integrity. Unique index does not allow any duplicate values to be inserted to the table. Okay, so it will not allow any duplicates. So while you creating this index, example, create unique index name on table name, the particular column you need to mention. So once you create like that, it will not allow the duplicates. So the values are should be always unique on this column. So this is how we can create unique index. Composite index. So composite index is on two or more columns of the table. So you can create the multiple columns on the particular table. So how we can create index name on table name. You can specify the column names. So which column you want to specify as the index. So how we can drop the index, created index. Okay. So care should be taken when dropping the index because the performance may either slow down or improve. Okay. So if you want to drop the existing index, you need to use this drop index name. That already created existing index name you need to specify here. What is the cluster index? So cluster index created only when the both the following conditions applies. Okay. The data or file that we are moving into the secondary memory should be in the sequential or sorted order. Okay. So example, like in the data, you want to specify in the sequential order without null, then this condition should be applied, the cluster index. There should be key value, meaning it should not have a repeated values, which means the all values in the particular column should be unique. So example, this is the student table, the primary key, roll number as a primary key I have created. So this roll number now it's considered as a cluster index, which means it should not allow the repeated values. It always in the sequential order, sorted order. Okay. So in this example, the primary key, the roll number, which is automatically considered as a clustered index, as we told earlier. What is non-clustered index? So non-clustered index is similar to the index of the book. The index of the book consists of the chapter name, page number. If you want to read any topic or chapter, then you can directly go to the page by using index of that book. No need to go to the each and every page of the book. Data is stored in one place, the index is stored in the other place. Since the data and non-clustered index is stored separately, then you can have multiple non-clustered index on the table. So, which means that the data storage mechanism compared to the clustered index will vary. This non-clustered index, the data which will refer into the different place. Okay, so there is a storage mechanism will take place in a different place, and you can create the different multiple non-clustered index on the single table. Okay, so example, I have a table student and roll number is the primary key. Then if you want to create the non-cluster index on this table, then you can create like this: create non-clustered index, the index name, the customized index name you need to specify here on table name, the column name. So in this student table, there is a column name. So I am specifying the ascending. Okay. So this ascending only, I'm creating this non-clustered index. Okay. So if you look at backgroundly on the database, the storage mechanism will be different. The storage will be take place in the different place. The data is stored in the one place and the index stored in the another place. So this is where the physical location will be. So what is the difference between these two? Okay, you can sort the record and store clustered index specifically in the memory as per order. That is the cluster index. Non-clustered index helps you to create the logical order for the data rows, uses the pointers for the physical data files. The storing mechanism allows you to store data pages in the leaf nodes of the index. But in the non-clustered index, this index method never stores the data pages, the leaf node of the index. So the size of the cluster index is quite large. The size of the non-clustered index is small compared to the cluster index. So data accessing the query result will be faster in the clustered index compared to the non-clustered index. Additional disk required? No. Cluster index not required, but non-clustered index required to store the index separately. So type of key. By default, primary key of the table is the cluster index. It can be used with the unique constraints on the table which act as a composite key. Okay. Main feature, the cluster index can improve the performance of the data retrieval. Non-cluster index, it should be created on columns which are used to join. Okay. So basically, this primary key acts as a clustered index. Here you can create the n number of non-clustered index on the particular table, and the data retrieval will be the faster in the clustered index compared to the non-clustered index, and the additional storage mechanism will be different compared to cluster and non-cluster index. So what is custom and composite cluster index? We have only one cluster index, but single cluster index can have a multiple columns, which is called a composite cluster index. We will use the same table and create a custom and composite cluster using delete command. To create one cluster index, first we have to delete the previously created cluster index. Okay. To delete the existing index, so you need to select that particular table, select the index folder, select the primary key, right click and delete. So if you're using the SQL server, then in the left in the hierarchy, you need to select the particular table, and under that hierarchy, you need to find this index. Okay, and under that, you need to find this primary key index. You can delete it. Okay, and once you delete it, you can create this custom and composite cluster index. So how create cluster index on the name you need to specify here on member. This is the table name. So this is the column gender, first name. So this is how you can create the composite cluster index, the multiple index on the single table you can create. So when you retrieve this select star from member, you see this gender, it will be sorted ascending order. The first name, it's sorted in the descending order, and the ID will be in the different position. So when you do this select star from member table, you will this will give you this result. So where we can find this primary key cluster index. So this is where already told you. So in the database, this under table, this student under the index, you can find this primary key index. This is considered as a cluster index. So you want to see in the command, so you can run this command, execute sp help index on the particular table. So it will give you the which index. Okay, so this id is the primary key index. So when should index should be avoided? Although indexes are intended to enhance the database performance, there are sometimes when should be avoided. So these are the following reasons. Index should not be on the small tables. Table that have frequent and lower batches of date and insert operations, you should be avoided with the index. Index should not be used on the columns that contains the high numbers of null values. Okay. So if it has the large number of null values, you should not use this index. The column that are frequently manipulated should not be index used. Okay. So let's stop here. And if you have any queries related to this discussion, please comment it down below. Also post about next topic you want us to share further. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and share to your friends. Also show some support by subscribing to this channel. Let's see you guys with the another epic video. Until then, signing off. Cheers with love.